one of your former colleagues, Wade, talking about his wife wears the pants in the family.
I just
in
saw
his
that.
case, that's literally true because he's letting that boy his wear dresses and he's wearing kilts. Mm-hmm. So he doesn't have on pants either. Mm-hmm. So I think that's a cop-out. Mm-hmm. And other thing, you gonna let an 8-year-old decide that he wants to be a girl? He hadn't even got a good heart on yet. How the hell is he doesn't even know what pussy is. So how the hell are you gonna make that determination?
I have no idea.
But you see, that's what they want. They want some nice, tender booty for them to deal with.
Now, Dwyane Wade is with Stuart Scott, too.
June 26, 2003, draft day. How did February 2nd, 2002 better prepare you for this day?
It made me more mature. My son was born on that day. My son was born a little while after that, after we beat Cincinnati at home, a big game, so it made me mature.
You've known your wife, Savon, since you all were in the 5th grade. What has she told you today that's going to calm your nerves a little bit?
None.
You didn't need it?
No, I'm
Have you calmed her nerves?
Yeah, I'm trying to calm hers. I'm cool. I'm just happy to be here, and I'm ready to get up there and shake David Stern's hand and move on.
Dwyane Wade, he was academically ineligible as a freshman. He worked his way to a 3.0 GPA, Mike, the highest in Marquette's starting 5.
And led Marquette to a Final Four appearance. We'll take you to...
Have you ever reached out to Dwayne to discuss what's going on and where did this go wrong? Has he ever reached out to you?
Yes, he has, through subpoenas, depositions, having people to forge my signature, committed forgery, and the judge stood there and said he knew it, and they did nothing about it. So through the courts and all that mess, yes, he drug me into that. That's how he reached out to me.
You know, the time that he came into her life, you know, what was happening in her mourning my sister, you know.
Started doing things that was not what a husband or a father should have been doing. And I did say something back then.
Mm-hmm. And his reaction?
I said was, well, by then he didn't need to listen to anyone.
Mm-hmm. He had changed?
Yes.
In ways like?
Well, let me put it to you this way. The love of money, it is the root to all evil. When people start worshiping money and thinking that it makes people gods, that's it. You can't tell anyone anything.
So you're saying that once Dwayne became an NBA player, his whole attitude changed?
Not long afterwards.
Mm-hmm. You say you saw an angry side of him. Can you tell me about some examples of that?
Well, one time he punched a hole in my door, and I know a lot of things was going on at that house. Mm-hmm. A lot of things that was not good things that no child should endure.
You all went from having no money to millions of dollars overnight. How did that truly affect you?
I was scared. We were in college together at Marquette.
You never had really issues of him cheating on you or dealing with other women?
I had an issue in college, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we did.
So did you think once you got married that issue was going to change?
No, I didn't think it was so much marriage that would do it. We were actually married at that time that happened. But I was hoping after we got past that, and resolved that issue that we wouldn't have to revisit it.
And when you got down to Miami, I guess it's obvious that it was revisited. How did you address issues of infidelity with Dwayne, or was he having affairs in Miami?
Yes, I was hurt. I was angry, of course, but I would say more than even being hurt and angry, I was very, very disappointed because Dwayne had never been just my husband. He had been first my very best friend. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't just like somebody cheating on somebody or somebody wronging someone. It was the kind of hurt that comes when a best friend turns on the other one.
I'm just asking because I just want to know out of curiosity. Is he still in there?
Yes, he is. In spite of him trying to have me arrested, in spite of him suing me, and in spite of people forging my signatures, That's what you do to your real child. You don't disinherit them when they do something bad.
You just discipline.
You discipline them.
Now that, Miss Funches, is what I call unconditional love. We'll be right back with more Real Talk with Kiara.
NBA star basketball player Dwyane Wade has 4 biological children. His first son, born Zaya, he was born in 2002. And then he had his second son, born a male, known as Zion, now known as Zaya, born in 2007. His other son is named Xavier, from an outside relation, born in 2013. He's also raising Davion Morris, whom is his nephew, born of his sister in 2001. Wade now has full custody of his nephew since 2011. The first person he met out of all this was his ex-wife Siobhan's mom. And he was married to Siobhan for about 5 years. They divorced in 2010 after separating in 2007, which was shortly after the second child that was born as Zion. He later went on to marry Gabrielle Union. And Gabby, which I call her, can't have kids. And she spoke about how it ate her up.
In her new memoir, You Got Anything Stronger?
Love wasn't some guy riding up on a white horse and, you live in a castle and it's happily ever.
Now, Gabby has been called and refers to herself as a mean girl at times. She has shown resentment towards a lot of other women, and especially when it comes to black women. Not sure if this has to do with it, possibly, her reproductive failures, and or the fact that she really seeks for white validation. You can see it and you can hear it in her.
Once Zaya, 12-year-old, came home, and first Zion, everybody, I don't know if everyone knows, originally named Zion born as a boy, came home and said, hey, so I want to talk to you guys. I think going forward, I'm ready to live my truth. And I want to be referenced as she and her. I would love for you guys to call me Zaya. And so internally, now is our job to, one, go out and get information, to reach out to every relationship that we have. My wife reached out to everybody on the cast of Pose. We're just trying to figure out as much information we can to make sure that we give our child the best opportunity to be, her best self.
Yeah, I would think that it's one thing. That must be a scary thing, because it's one thing for you to love her and your wife to love her, but you just want everyone to love her the same way. Exactly. And once Zion came home and said, hey, you call me Zaya and I'm ready to take on this, I looked at it and said, you are a leader. You are a leader, and it's our opportunity to allow you to be a voice. Right now it's through us because she's 12 years old, but eventually it would be through her. Right. Well, and Listen is an organization you're working with. They're really guys in the NBA, with so many younger guys, really tore up about this because he was the first superstar that really embraced different generations, really embraced us. And I think from 2008 on, from the Olympics on, he really put his arms around us as competitors and the rest of the world. You saw him being more involved in so many different sports, not just basketball and soccer, obviously, with his daughter and women basketball. But he just started being a person that everybody can call and reach out to and say, hey, Kobe, I have a question. So I'm going to miss that example. Yeah. Not only just my friend, but that example that he was setting, not only for me, but so many others. Yeah, yep. Well.
Early on, Dwyane Wade's mom was in and out of prison, and his father was abusive to his stepmom and him. Dwyane's father was also known as Mr. Fist, because he has hit people in the family. Dwayne was known to have a bit of a temper at times as well. Siobhan and Dwayne have both accused each other of some form of abuse, and that it had occurred with or around the children. Not much of it held up in court. Siobhan has been accused of needing mental help. That accusation came from Dwayne and also a court. But it was also known that there was a court-appointed psychologist that actually deemed Siobhan's mental status as being stable. Yet Dwayne still got custody of the children in 2011. So some gay allegations made about Dwayne. These were made by an ex-girlfriend of Siobhan. It was said that he had suspect behavior with him and other men of the NBA. Now, him and Shaq go way back, and apparently Shaq enjoys having his nails painted, and so does Dwayne. In fact, until this day, he still paints his nails, and he does them with Zaya. Also did an interview with Oprah, him and Gabrielle. There was a lot of questionable comments made there as well.
The acrylic nails. The acrylic nails and a halter top shirt on. Now, be what you want to be. But the question is, if that boy was a real little girl, is it appropriate? Because my 12-year-old daughter wouldn't have on no halter top and no acrylic nails. My 12-year-old girl. Right. Because they got plenty of time for that. They got the rest of their life to do that. Now, why you got to march that out in front of everybody, and that's still a child? This is me. Now, you can get mad at me, and the LGBT community can attack me or whatever and say whatever they want to say, but I'm just talking about just as a parent. You got to use a certain amount of discretion, and it almost feels like exploitation to a child's sexuality. Now, be what you want to be, and people who gonna be who they want. I raised a child that was a lesbian that's now living her life, as the opposite sex now, or whatever. But while you're a child, remain in a child.
If you were living in the house with them, and your parents are the one that's taking care of you, feeding you and clothing you, I really know that you will be living up under their rules and their instruction. So why couldn't it be, listen, let's deal with this in private so we can make sure our son is healthy enough, to get out in this crazy world, this mean world, and fulfill him with the knowledge and the fortitude and the mental substance that he'll be able to handle what's coming at him right now. But no, he's made a spokesperson at the age of 12 by his own father, for the LGBT community. So, okay, videos and the great things and the great comments pumping your other boys up. And the nephew that you adopted, where are they? We don't see them because they're not making headline news. But Dwayne, you all have Gabrielle, and I'm going to say Dwayne, you have already accepted your son. And you have already let everyone know you love your son regardless of what he is and what he becomes. You know that. So you have already accepted your son. So why you keep putting him out here on this platform so that America, this is a mean world we live in, Dwayne. So why would you put that on that child's shoulder? Let's change the indoctrination that Hollyweird, okay, is really Hollywood. If that's the fact, if that's the case, but no, you making it just what they're calling it, Hollyweird. And that's the part that I don't like.
And if y'all really take a look or have been paying attention to Dwyane Wade's his change, it's like he's been transforming. I've been getting former NBA player Dennis Rodman. I've been getting Dennis Rodman vibes off of Dwyane Wade. And Kai is alleging that Dwyane Wade is either bisexual or he's gay. Those are my thoughts. I feel I'm providing something that back it up, And things have happened, he said, in his past. But as a child, he didn't talk about it. I don't know what it was or what it is. But it's like it's not just his son that transformed into the female. It's like his tendencies and the way he's been carrying on seems to be a transformation as well.
What I was going to say is your daughter transitioned, I guess, I'm not sure that that's how I would say it, but you have a trans daughter.
Yes.
And you've been super vocal about it.
Yeah.
But I'm going to add, it is harder in the black community to be outspokenly pro LGBTQ.
Yes.
I don't know if we're allowed to say that, but for many, many reasons, people that have been systematically emasculated for 300 years, and the outcome of that is sometimes things that could appear to be emasculating that people are afraid of. So I think it's even more profound that you are doing it.
Well, thank you. First of all, it has not been 1 second because, first of all, before my child came home at 8 years old and at the time said that she was gay, at 3 years old, I didn't know because I wasn't educated, but I knew
you knew
that
something.
I knew something enough to me and my wife have a conversation.
Right.
Like I was a young kid who put on heels and did all my sister clothes and whatever my sister. I did double dutch back in Chicago. I just wanted to be like them. So, people, you kind of shove it off as, it's just a kid. But
he had no idea, had no clue at all whatsoever. Then on this interview, he says, yeah, him and his wife had an idea. So, they figured they would, just try to figure things out. So it's like, which is it? Did you always have that feeling or inkling at an early age about your child? Or did your child have these feelings? When did it start? And how was it dealt with? There's just some contradictions here. But, in closing, the Wades have had a lot of going on. They've had a lot of success as well. With success and monies, you can move different and you're around different situations. But I do feel wholeheartedly that whatever's been instilled in you will still be with you in morals. There's a feeling inside you of right and wrong with most things in life. That's with sexuality as well. And we need to be there for each other, I feel, regardless of one's sexuality. But we need to have clarity. Not only that, I want to know if you can reference when you became gay or bisexual, lesbian, whatever title you go by, trans. And was there an influence to that feeling that you've had? The majority of LGBTQ members all have been molested, had some type of sexual assault or encounter that has altered their sexuality. And I feel like those things aren't spoken on as much. How did we get here? How did you get here? And understanding that individual, but understanding if there was a problem, etc., to make sure that that's addressed. Oh, and currently, Siobhan is now known as Dr. Siobhan L. Funches. So, let me know what you think in the comments below. Please feel free to either way you see this or any part of their lifestyles. Leave a comment in there. I'm sure it seems like there will be a lot of thought to this, feelings, opinions, and or facts, that can be shared right here. Okay, so that's it, and that about wraps it up. And hopefully you enjoyed or had something to take from it. I try to put in material that I don't think may have been seen, but I chronicleize things in different orders for reasons for the timeline and points to be made. I do like for people to speak for themselves, so I let them do that, and then I'll chime in at times and do a bit of a commentary on that. And this is a conclusion of Surviving the Wades. And as always, I appreciate you watching KindY007 right here on YouTube.com. And just stay tuned, because right now coming up is a trailer for my next Surviving. So up next will be Surviving Sir Kwame Brown. Peace.
David Aldridge has some news for us. David.
Well, Mike, the Wizards are coming up with the 10th pick, and up until a couple hours ago, Washington and Miami were discussing a deal. Would have sent Kwame Brown to Miami, and it was a three-way potential deal involving Seattle as well, where Miami would have wound up with 2 picks. Seattle would have gotten Kwame Brown, Washington would have gotten the 5th pick. But Eddie Jordan, the new head coach of the Wizards, said he did not want to trade Kwame Brown. He wants to look at Kwame Brown, give him an opportunity to show what he can do before they make any final decisions on him.
And the point is good, Dave, because you have to remember so many of the high school players have matured after their first couple of